Yo, guys, Coach Vinny here. So, one of the things that I found myself telling often now is a story from back in the day of when I realized why I need coaches. Right? I've always, what I realized, from this experience was that I'm somebody that needs a coach, right? And when I say that, guys, I was never the player that needed anyone to push me, do the work. I was actually the reverse. I was a player that I would just do so much work and do way too much, and I would overtrain like crazy, right? So what I figured out and realized was that I'm the one that's just going to go out and try to do everything, but the reality is I need somebody to help me to stay zoned in on what I really need to do and hold me back, right, from doing too much. And case in point, a story that I always think about from back in the day that I think about was crazy, guys, was I remember one summer, right? It was one summer that I was out training. So this was before I was headed to Ottawa Senators training camp. Was preparing myself, right, that off season. Was basically working with a boxing coach a couple days a week, but then the rest of the time I was following off-season conditioning program, strength and conditioning program from the Anaheim Ducks. If you would have seen this program, guys, any strength and conditioning coach would have seen it today and go like, are you kidding me? It was literally 6 days straight. I was running. You had a running protocol, a sprinting protocol, whatever it was for conditioning. And then you had strength work, which was literally upper body, lower body, every exercise under the sun. I mean, this booklet was just absolutely insane. And so I followed it to the T, along with doing boxing a couple days a week to get more conditioning in with that part. So as I followed this routine, it was about 7 weeks into the routine where I go off to I was living in Cherry Hill East at that time, so I went to high school there for a little bit and ended up going to their track outside, right? And so on that day I had to do, it was like 400s, 300s. It was like one of these protocols, right? So I go out, I do my first, 400s. I'm gassed, right? It's like, okay, done. I go do my, set of 300s, right? So I go first set of 300s, come around, second set of 300s, come around. So as I did these, right, I'm recovering, getting going. What's interesting was on my third set as I came around. So mind you, right, I'm 7 weeks into training. So I'm in quote unquote good shape, right? By then I'm in good shape. So as I came around and I did this on my third set, I come around and it was about 4:30 in the afternoon. I'll never forget this. As I come around the bend and I start running in to finish off the set, I'll never forget how, as I'm running through, the sun was setting on the outside, so the sun was beaming down this way, right, as I was running through. And I'll never forget the amount of red vision that I had seen, right, that as I was coming across and the sun made this red image glisten in my mind, which looked like red water. In essence, guys, what happened was I had come around the bend and literally I was puking blood, right, because I had overtrained. So all I remember is this vision of coming around the bend and seeing like coming out after being in shape, right, for 7 weeks, and turning around and just seeing this liquid come out because I had ultimately overtrained myself. End up calling up the boxing, my boxing coach saying, hey, this just happened. What do you think? Blah, blah. And he's like, you're done. You literally, at that time, this was years ago, right? At that time, I was like, hey, you have to take 3 to 4 weeks off. You've overtrained your body. You're literally done. So I had this explosion of blood came out from internally because I just did so much and just overdid it. And so that's why now when I do things, I'm the one that just overdoes things, right? If I go into it, I'm all in, right? The all in with Coach Vin, all part, right? There's a reasoning behind that, right? Of when I go, I'm in all the way and I'm in. And I can overwork myself. I can overdo things myself. What I realized is what helps me, though, is to have a coach there to help me understand and go, you know what? These are things you need to zone in on, right? So just like I go out, help out others to simplify the process for them and help them understand, no, this is what you need. It's no different from myself. I have coaches myself as well that help me do that. Nope, this is what you need. This is what you need to focus on. This is what matters most, right? So now, as we're going into the off season, this is a simple reminder for any player that's out there, right? Whether you go with me, whether you go with somebody else, the importance of finding a coach, can't stress it enough, of how important it is that if you can find a good, knowledgeable coach to help you simplify the process and understand to do the things that matter for you, it's invaluable in today's world. There's so much information out there. There's so many things you can do, but the reality is, what do you need to do? What matters most for yourself? If you can identify what that is, now you're not just working and doing 8 to 10 hours of work a day in the off season and the summer and all that stuff. You're doing a few hours of work and then you're enjoying the rest of your summer. You're doing other things that you can do to have fun with as well. It's not just about work, work, work. The old days of thinking that I need to put in 6, 7, 8 hours a day of work is gone. I need to put in smart, deliberate, concentrated work into what matters for me. And if you can do that, you're ahead of the game. And so that's what I help players do now, right? Is that I help them understand, identify, become aware, right? Identify what the strengths are and understand how to simplify their game and make the most of their time for them specifically, right? So if you're interested in that, guys, comment below yes, right? Or shoot me a private message and I'll send you over some information, right? About what it is that I'm doing with this off season coming in, of how I can help guide you, how I can jump in the hole with you and help to coach you and help you to maximize your off season. Because the biggest part in the off season is there's a lot of things that you can do and you can go work on. But the reality is, are you working on what matters most to you? If you're doing that, you're making the most of your off season. But if you're just like me that one summer where you're just trying to do it all, well, one day you might end up puking up that blood too and having somebody say to you, you're done, you can't train anymore, you're finished, you've overworked yourself. And that's what we want to try to avoid. You can't do everything. But if you figure out the things that make the most sense for you, you can do that. And that's what's most important to have success. And it's as simple as that. So again, let me know. Would love to help you. And if not, at a minimum, at least take these words and take this message and go find somebody that is going to add value and that is going to help you. Because can't stress it enough, having coaches is one of the best things in the world for all of us. All right? Let me know, guys. See ya.